It is my honor to have Miss Janie Mines here, the first black female to graduate from the United States Naval Academy.
That's correct.
Tell me how was that when you were there, if you had to describe it? What would you say, what stood out in your mind? There were 80 that applied.
There were 80 in the class, many applied. 81 were accepted.
81, okay.
One quit rather quickly, so there were 80 of us really, and it was challenging. I was the only black woman that was admitted as part of the first class of women admitted to the Naval Academy. And what stood out for me, the tenacity of the organization in dealing with something that they believed was a mistake. I mean, my boys were serious. And, you know, for me, but by the grace of God, it probably wouldn't have worked the way that it did. But they weren't that way because I was black or because I was female. They thought the timing was wrong. And that they didn't believe, they felt that the military is often used to move the social needle forward. And that wasn't their mission. Their mission was to take care of the nation. And having me come in at that time when we were really in the Navy still assimilating black males, they felt was wrong, and that they needed to stop it. And they're quite inventive when they make their minds up about something.
How has it been since then? Do you go back to events?
I was at the superintendent's change of command just a few days ago.
Okay.
You know, it's if I had dealt with it as though it was a race or a gender issue, I would have failed. I had to show them that I did embody the characteristics of a graduate of the Naval Academy. And I think in doing that, most of my friends, probably 90% of my friends, are Naval Academy graduates. Some of the men who were there as seniors when I came in as a freshman, one of them told me, he said, "You're doing the right thing. If anybody messes with you, you tell me." So it's, you know, they're my boys, they're my big brothers, so I love them. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's interesting. You, from there, tell us, what did you, after you got your degree, you went to Orlando, Florida.
I was, yes, I was at the Naval, I was a supply corps officer with the business people for the Navy. I was at the Navy Training Command down in Orlando. It doesn't exist there anymore, and was actually running the galleys. I was put in that job because it was a trying time and I was put into a position that was much more senior than I was. They want to leverage my change. They called me the little change agent, and they wanted to leverage me in that job to help that organization get through some challenging times.
Well, you were on the USS Emory S land. You were senior advisor to the Secretary of the Navy. Mm-hmm. That's heady things.
Well, you know, you try to do what it is God has for you to do. Mm-hmm.
And you were the 2002 Olympic Games torchbearer.
I was a torchbearer. That was cool.
How was that?
That was nice. At the time, I was working for Bank of America, and actually my team put that in for me. They nominated me to be a torchbearer, and I was quite surprised when they came in and told me I was going to carry the Olympic torch. That was a blessing. That was nice.
Where was it held?
I carried it in Charleston.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the United States Navy Award with the Business Achievement in 2010. You wrote a book, which you've got on our desk, Reflections of the First Black Female Graduate of the United States Naval Academy.
You know, it's funny. When you get to our age, you go through things in life, and you get to a certain age, and you kind of get an opportunity to reflect back on your journey. And what became most evident to me was how God had a plan. And He executed it so well. I mean, all the things that I needed growing up in Aiken, South Carolina, that I needed to be successful at the Naval Academy as the first black female to be admitted, He had already given them to me. And so all I had to do was be willing to listen, to be prepared, to be obedient, and I was never alone. One of the chapters in my book, I call them My Invisible Friends. I couldn't be isolated because I always had Him, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, so we're cool.
What would you do different again, if anything?
Nothing.
Really?
Because I was trying to, you know, this whole story is not about me. It's about us being willing to follow the plan and to do what if He hadn't used me, He'd use somebody else. And so because I feel I did what I was supposed to do, I wouldn't change anything. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's you're an example for so many people. Regardless of what you do, you attended a college that sets the gold standard for academics, for excellence, and you succeeded. Afterward, you're using your gifts and talents to help other people. Because you and I have talked, and you get your satisfaction from helping people.
Yes,
So,
that's my passion.
Well, you can tell it. You're an honor to do this with you. I want to present you. I've got a couple of copies for your friends, and what an honor to have her here.
Thank you.
Hearing your story, and this ought to be, everybody ought to hear what you did and what you continue to do for people. Janie, thank you so much.
Thank you.